do happen to have the honor of working at a place where we do believe in a very holistic view when it comes to medicine. Here at Urban Zen, we believe in integrative healthcare, and we have a three-pronged or three-pillar mission, and those things are healthcare, education, and cultural preservation. And the way we tie those three things together as it pertains to our whole self is that when it comes to healthcare, one of the most important missions that we have is to educate people, and what's especially important to me, women, on caring for yourself. And so prevention, basically. If you're better educated about your body and about how it works and about what should be going in to your body, you have a better opportunity to prevent yourself from having to show up at an emergency room or a doctor's office any more often than just to have a checkup. And so education is very important. Cultural preservation, the way we tie that back to healthcare from our perspective is building upon the embracing of the way our ancestors took care of themselves and of their families. And so our approach, as far as integrative healthcare is concerned, is to incorporate several different things. Everything from essential oils, which we know are derived from certain kinds of plants, to yoga, to certain modalities of massage therapy like Reiki. We actually started a program a few years ago called the usek program, and the useks are Urban Zen Integrative Therapists. And these are folks who are either healthcare professionals or yoga instructors who go through a 1-year intensive training and using these different modalities in order to help to heal the patient versus heal the disease. And they basically go in. We've a wonderful group at Beth Israel Hospital and at a couple of other centers in the city, and they go in and they do interesting things like they deal with the patient, but not only the patient, but as far as the patient is concerned, they teach in-bed yoga. And so they're teaching patients to be able to do things so that they can move themselves around in the bed and they can stretch, and they teach breathing exercises and things that before they get there are sort of foreign concepts to the patient, and things that the nurses and doctors just honestly don't have the time to spend with them and teach them how to do. For certain patients, they are allowed to do aromatherapy, and so they're using essential oils as a process or part of the process of healing. But then they also work with the nurses, and there's a two-pronged approach with the nurses. They do massage therapy on the nurses, or they do Reiki. They sometimes do different treatments with the essential oils. But what I think is just as important is they teach the nurses self-care. So they teach the nurses also these yoga practices and these breathing exercises and these things that they can do for themselves. But even between patient visits, just the idea of going from one room and the minutes it takes you to get, or the seconds down the hallway to the next room, breathing exercises that you can do just to mentally prepare yourself to move on to the next patient and be able to give the next patient just as much as you gave the last patient. And we actually, in Kent State University in Ohio, have trained an entire class of nurses in self-care, something that we're very, very proud of, and are now partnering with Johnson & Johnson to not only do research that proves how effective what we're doing is, but to also be able to train more nurses across the country in self-care, but also in being able to actually give some of these kinds of holistic treatments to the patients that they're working with. And then ultimately, we would love to be training the doctors in integrative healthcare as well. And there are several people in the field who are already doing so, and we're just trying to follow suit. But at the end of the day, like I said, not coming from the perspective of science or of being a doctor, but just from the perspective of being a woman who understands that if I employ even half of the strategies that my mom and my grandmom employed to keep me healthy when I was young, in taking care of myself, which is again that cultural preservation piece, and then journey to educate women who come after me to do the same, to really be careful about what you're taking in, be careful also about what you're putting out, then I'm going to be a more whole and a healthier person. So flat out, our point of view is, we're thrilled that science has come so far, but we would love if we didn't need it to go much further, because we've learned how to take care of ourselves. Thank you.